Fishing is a terrific pastime, but what happens when that terrific pastime takes over your entire life? Then what happens when every choice you have to make is influenced by your love of fishing? You've had to make some very serious choices. Then what happens when after 35 years of being on the river, you decide to look back to see if the choices you did make were the right choices? This is the story of Zini. We're in Colorado, and we're being guided by Alex Zini Hall. This is Guided. In southwest Colorado, I met a man with many years of fly fishing experience and a lifetime of lessons to teach. Were you born and raised in Colorado?
Not quite. I'm actually English by birth, but I ended up over here by the time I was about 5 and a half, so almost a lifer.
How did you get into fishing though?
I think the seed started, my dad liked to fish quite a bit, and even in England when I was really young, my elder brother, he's about 2.5 years older, my dad would take him fishing and leave me behind. That's the catalyst right there, I think.
Maybe that feeling, that little boy that got left in the hall, never wants to be left in the hall. You know what I mean? You can't go, so he went out and did it on his own.
By the time I was about 10 or 12, it just took off, and I'd spend any chance I could get to go down to the river.
Fish, keep rod up, good fish. Let him run, get rod high. All off the tip, Mark, yeah. Take your time, let that fish run. It's a good fish. And be wary of bringing in too much line. Leave a foot out there. And like I say, real high rod. If that rod's angling below your eyes, get it back up there, and we'll have a much better time with him. More pressure. Okay, we got him in.
Got him?
Good, yep, good
Great.
job.
Ooh, look at the colors, man.
Gorgeous
Alex.
fish. Yeah, that's a good looking fish. One of those.
Now I know why you live in Colorado, man.
This is it. Look at the gorgeous. You can tell that's an older fish by just the coloration. Big fins.
Yeah.
Gorgeous hen rainbow.
Wild.
Yep, wild fish.
Great.
At an early age, Alex was mesmerized by the poetry of fly fishing.
You don't know what's down there. It's a connection to an environment you don't live in. It's a mystery, unraveled. Could be 12 inches or it could be 3 feet. And that's, for me, that's always been a trigger. In 1990, I noticed an ad in the newspaper where an outfitter had moved to town and was looking to set up a fishing guiding business.
And he was, interviewing for some local guides. And I was like, well, I love to fish. Maybe I can make the jump.
He could have gone and been, in a corporation and been on the computer or done something like that, but that wasn't what drove him.
The years of fishing, passion, and higher intelligence has created today a different kind of guide.
Man's extremely intelligent, has a deep knowledge base about the natural world that we live in. Alex definitely doesn't talk like a regular guy.
The surface of the water has tension on the line. You can see that tension. So a water-loaded cast, i.e. a roll cast, is instead of pinching the line to create resistance for an overhead cast, a roll cast, the pinch is coming from the surface of the water.
I can't really think of much regular or normal about Alex.
Any pool that has good depth, is a recipe for a big fish to be living there. All casts have to come from an anchor.
Walking encyclopedia.
Fish move. They're not always in the same place, so you've got to be aware that sometimes you'll do different things depending on what the conditions tell you to do. The foam, you always want to look at foam pockets and the slow water right next to the fast.
Alex has a very wide vocabulary.
The rod telegraphs any of your motions through the line, so jerkiness makes the line jerky, and that kind of defeats the purpose. A lot of it's just based on, the more you spend time on a river, you start understanding it, or you can pick up a book and kind of study it, but reading the water is an important part.
No, he's a hard-working, reliable, honest, good fishing guide, and that's really what I'm looking for.
So Damon, what's the feedback from the guests with respect to Alex?
Nice good job. That's what that's what I live for.
People love Alex. Alex is a fisherman's fisherman. Alex is probably the fishiest guy I know. He's far and away probably the best fisherman I know.
All seems perfect in Alex's life, but coming up, I visit his home and get behind the scenes where I see the obsession, the hard work, and the regrets.